Hi, this is my second rock painting using Crayola Colored Pencils. In the first one, I used a Santorini stone, which is almost pure white. The one I'm using today is a little off-white, but you can see the huge difference. I'm going to try a few experiments and see what I can learn. I'll be using primary colors, blue, yellow, and red, and white to help blend out some of the colors. For the first blending test, I laid in my lightest color using short strokes. Then I applied white, again in short strokes, to blend out the blue. I then started to use the darker of the blues, and then the lighter blue to go over the darker. With this test, I did the darker first, and then went over that with the lighter blue, and then added white to that as well. I used light to medium pressure when doing this. Then I used the darker of the two blues, and then applied the light blue, and then finally a little bit of white to blend them all out. Going back and forth between the darker blue and the lighter blue, and then the white, balancing them out. From this, I learned that the white colored pencil is your best friend in blending out the colors. Yes, you can apply the blending technique between two colors like the blues, but again, to soften the blend, use a little bit of white. For the blending techniques in this section, where I'm using yellows, oranges, and reds, and whites to augment the blending process, instead of using short, straight strokes, what I'm doing is I'm using circular motions throughout. Again, my pressure is light to medium, favoring the light over the medium. Although the blending process is kind of long and laborious as to compare to, say, like watercolors or acrylics, where the blending process is a lot faster and somewhat more immediate, achieving a blend in colored pencils actually is kind of relaxing. You just take your time and enjoy the process. I'm using orange here as my mid-tone, and using a light circular motion, I'm gradually building up the opaqueness of the second color or shadow. As I said, it's a gradual process going back and forth between your areas. In my brief experience with colored pencils, I can definitely see why people enjoy using them. They're easy to use and they're a lot of fun. Keeping your pencils sharpened to a nice sharp point makes the process of using colored pencils a lot smoother and more enjoyable. I'm using the red here in two ways. I'm deepening the shadows as well as introducing a new element to the design, in this case, the folds of the flower. Again, I'm going in a more or less circular motion and using light pressure. I'm reinforcing the initial shadow created by the orange, blending it in with the red. And now I'm going in with the yellow, applying a base coat for the rest of the flower. Again, blending in, and as you apply more and more yellow, you'll find that you need to go in with the orange a little bit more, and then a little bit on the red as well. In working with colored pencils, I find that it's a constant balancing act. First one color and then the other, but like I said, it's this balancing act that makes it fun. Now that the yellow has been laid down, it's important to go ahead and apply shadows to the areas. If you've liked this video so far, please hit the like button so YouTube will distribute it to more people. Thank you. And it really helps my channel a lot. Now I know you can use things such as a colorless blender or a solvent, but for now I just wanted to use the colored pencils by themselves. Now, colored pencils by themselves are inherently transparent. However, I wanted to check and see how opaque I can make them. So I drew in some stamens to see if it goes over the yellows well, and they did a pretty good job. Although I need to work on the stamens themselves. I didn't find that the Crayola colored pencils produced a lot of The next test was to use a light color green, which is pretty transparent, over the yellows, but I quickly ended up having to use some darker greens as well. And then I added some yellow to the edge of the leaf, blended it in a little bit as if I was using white, and that worked out pretty good with no big problems. As I suspected, no big problems in using a darker color over a lighter color, which is good. I wanted to use a little bit of brown to create more negative space in the background. Again, no problems. And instead of using a fine liner to go around the flower, I ended up using a dark brown for the outline and then for the signature as well. If you've enjoyed this video, subscribe for more rock painting ideas. I post twice a week, sometimes 3 times. So I need your help. For my next Crayola Colored Pencils rock painting, should I do a doodlefish or one of my funky birds? Leave a comment below and let me know. Thanks. Celebrate each other, celebrate your own creative inner voice, and paint along the way.